apologize for the. All right, so I really want you to take these writing prompts as a lead, but not necessarily as the question that you need to answer. I mean, that's an option as well, but you can, for example, let's say you are interested in slave narratives, and you want to focus on slave narratives from the point of view of gender, or you want to focus on the on education as a way to free slaves, um, or slave narratives, and you want to find out more about the different slave narratives, because some of them were written, as you remember, by Africans, right, who were kidnapped and were forced, right? So they are autobiographical accounts. Some of them were written by white abolitionists, and therefore the element of reliability is quite argued, because of the purpose of an abolitionist text to promote certain ideas and to change the political agenda. Therefore, some events, some critics might say that were exaggerated to create a sense of urgency in the readers that the abolitionist cause needed to be supported. You may look at the slave narratives, not just the written ones, but also the interviews that were carried out in a specific historical moment in United States. So my point is, you can depart from these writing prompts, and you can develop your own point of view, and your own, because remember, when you are writing an essay, right? Yes, you can do it from a descriptive point of view, but you also can adopt an argumentative point of view.
Yes, and reflect about the comparison or about the analysis of the book as well, right?
Essentially, that is exactly what I would like to see: your own reflection um, through the comparison of facts, through the analysis of quotes, through
Ah,
the.
yes,
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to ask you as well. Sorry. They
Go
were
go ahead.
talking. Sorry. That my internet is like, I don't know if is it my computer or my internet that is like delayed. Sorry. Oh, um, for example, if we are going to analyze this, we need to consider all the aspects of a literary analysis. For example, all the aspects that we covered during the book reports. For example, the author, the point of view, the language, the tone, the literary devices, and so on. Like to compare um, with and reflect on those aspects and maybe compare them with other works. And also, I saw in one rubric that we needed to cite in a different format, not APA, on another one. For example, if we want to take a piece um, of the book or the work and put it in our essay to make a point.
Yes, there's dog barking outside. Actually, the analysis that you performed in book report can be applied to the literary analysis that you are going to do about your own literary work. The option one, when the if your literary analysis. By the way, anyone here in the room is going to do a literary analysis about his or her own literary work or creation?
Yes, I plan to do that.
Me too.
I also do want to make my own piece of a poem. I think.
Okay, so for those of you who are working on literary analysis about your own creation, I would apply the same format that you were applying for your book reports. So cover the, the type of narrator, the point of view, tone, setting, so on and so forth. Okay. It would be interesting for you to reflect on the effects of the socio-cultural context, considering that you are part of it, and sometimes it takes a couple of years or decades to be able to understand that that you're part of a history that has some connections with the previous one, and sometimes historians or people who are interested in study history give a name to this particular period. But it's a good exercise. It's a very good intellectual exercise. And also, if you reflect on the biographical aspects that might have influenced the literary work somehow. Okay, so for those of you who are doing the literary analysis about your own creation, I would say go and apply the same aspects that you applied in your book reports. But on the case of those of you who are not doing this, but are answering or taking departing points, one of the questions, I would say that this is the elements that you are going to take from the book reports are the elements that are going to help you or serve the purpose of your essay. If the setting does not have anything to do with the point of your essay, you're going to leave it out. If tone has nothing to do with what you're going to reflect on, then do not include it. Do not feel pressed or to add all of the elements that you included in a book report, because if you are writing an essay, it's like looking at a triangle, and the tip of the triangle is your main argument, and then the rest are supporting, right, this main idea. And if you add extra information that has nothing to do or will not go in the same direction, then it is additional ideas that are not going to actually complement but distract the reader. They're not going to complement the main argument or point, but are going to lead the reader astray, to get confused with the focus of your essay. Okay, so if you said I'm going to do the analysis about my own literary work, and then you change your mind, that's totally fine, right? I'm actually not going to ask for that information written. It's always flexible. I don't know if you have any more questions.
I have a question about the deadline. When do we have to send this essay?
Originally, the date given was Sunday 26, but I'm open to suggestions.
Yes, Professor. The thing is that this Friday, we're supposed to hand in our education thesis, and we have other works to hand in, and the same Friday and this Sunday. So maybe if it is possible to maybe move it for next week, it would be great, actually.
And which date are you thinking of next week?
I don't know, but is it possible? I mean, is that an option? I think you're muted.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm thinking that it could be an option. And yeah, I'm thinking it could be an option, but I okay. Since I'm in charge of the section 1 and Miss Canelos is in charge of section 2, I need to talk to her first and see which day it could be, and of course inform you about this date today. So I wouldn't commit to a specific date now. I could if I were in charge of both sections, as it has happened some years. Let me talk to her. Let me see if we agree on an extension. I remember that when I was assigned this to teach literature for this program in 2012, during 3 years, 3 years, that is 6 semesters, because one semester is the literature devoted to American literature, and the other semester the one devoted to British literature. So in these 6 semesters, students had to write an essay in class, and they had to bring sort of a draft, including the topic sentence, right? Specific quotes that they were going to use. So all the main elements that they were going to incorporate in their essay, and they had 2 hours and 30 minutes to write the essay using this plan, right? And I remember one year they were allowed to take a dictionary with them into the classroom. So with all these elements in the 2 hours and 30 minutes, they had to write this this essay with all obviously the previous preparation. So in this case, I understand that you use internet at some point, right? And to corroborate or to make sure about dates, facts, and quotations. You are going to use other all the digital elements like PDF files, etc., etc. So you're taking all these into this virtual classroom for the essay. So while I was thinking about the answer to your question, I remember those times in which students had to write the essay in class. Students that were also finishing the major, and so they were also working on both theses. And of course, we are living a different context now, right? So that's why I understand that somehow it's more difficult to meet online. Therefore, I would like to say that I'm going to inform you about the extension or not extension of date today, because I just need to contact Ms. Canelos. I'm going to do that as soon as I can. Actually, do you have any date that any suggestions for a date but next week?
Next Friday, maybe, if it is possible.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a message now. Actually, I am, as I'm speaking with you, to confirm the extension, right? The idea of waiting a bit to give the answer has to do with thank you. Has to do with co-teaching this class, and also safeguard the time that the teachers have also to assess the essays. Also about the extension of the essay, I mean, in terms of number of words, we're not looking at 10-page essays or 5-page essays. Probably, I would say no more than 3. I guess 2, fine. Okay. So don't look at this essay as a possibility of writing for more than 3 pages. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor, for your availability to the dialogue.
I'm typing a message, by the way, to Ms. Canelos. Feel free to ask any questions. And if you don't have any questions, use the time for the essay to, I guess, first make sure you choose whether it's going to be about your own literary creation or about the any of the questions. Remember, the questions are guiding questions. You may also sort of subdivide the question or create a I don't know, sort of like a sub branch, so you can do it more specific. But this, the key elements are, remember that this is a personal reflection, and you need to find a specific idea. For example, let's suppose that you have a thesis that actually Edgar Allan Poe was not an alcoholic, but his narrators come out of the consumption or the ingest or the time he had a specific. I'm just thinking aloud. All right, had a specific experience with a Native American tribe. Let's suppose that you found information about that and you want to develop that idea. Okay, so that is a unique perspective on a specific writer, American writer, and therefore you elaborate or develop an essay about this specific key idea with your own voice. Okay, so take the questions as that, as doors that are opening to go into that direction. But once you enter the door, you might take a different direction. Okay, I sent the question to Ms. Canelos.
Thank you, Professor.
Alrighty. Okay, she's she's suggesting Wednesday or Friday. Yeah, I do agree with her. She's because she's saying that she would review them and assess them on the weekend. So probably Friday, Friday 31st. Is that all right for you? I mean, considering that we are, we would take time to review them on August the 1st, the 2nd, which is Saturday and Sunday.
So I'm sorry, my intonation is like weak, but so we would have to hand in this work the 31st. That's what I heard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 31st.
That would be great.
All right. So I'm going to
for
try
me.
to see.
For me, I don't want to talk for everyone. Sorry, just for me.
That's right. So the deadline for the essay is July 31st. I'm typing this in the chat. So so if you're having internet connection problems and you're not listening to the conversation, the deadline for the essay is July 31st. Okay, that's in the chat room. And at least we gain 5 more days. You know, as soon as I mean, as long as we have the essay on Saturday morning to start reviewing, I'm going to have breakfast with your essays on Saturday. So if I have them before Saturday 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm fine with that. I'm going to create a task in the LMS to receive the essays starting from today up until July Saturday, Saturday 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so for those of you who are more focused on nighttime, probably you can use the time to work on that Friday night. So Saturday 7 a.m. morning, right? is going to be my deadline to receive your essays through the LMS. That's my last piece of information. So are we good?
Professor, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If we decide to do the analysis of our literary work, do we have to send as well the literary product so you can read it, or just the analysis?
I really thank you for the question, Laura, because I had totally forgotten to mention that. It's essential that if you're writing, to include your own literary work. Yep. So it's a yes. Yes.
Thank
you. Thank you for the question. I totally skipped that essential part of because it's essential to understand if you are actually analyzing symbols, to see in which context the symbols are used in the literal work. So yes, thank you for that. So I'm going to log in on Friday. If you have questions, please feel free to connect on Friday. Feel free to ask questions. Okay. I'm going to upload the questions and the rubric to the LMS. This is basically the same thing that you can see in the screenshots that were posted in the chat room. Okay, so I'm going to be uploading now the rubric and the questions to the LMS. If you don't have questions, you're free to go. And if you have questions later, just send them to my institutional email address, right? The bramirez@ucm.cl. Please, not the other one, not the Gmail. Okay, the rubric and the questions are going to be uploaded in the first tab, the tab called Presentación, for you to have them, for you to have direct access.
Thank you very much, Professor.
All right. Thank you, Rocio. Otherwise, it would have been a very, very quiet and lonely session. All right, guys. I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to